The iPod Shuffle. Very small MP3 player. I've been using this for roughly 2 weeks now. This is just the 2 GB version, as you can see, silver. I'm gonna try and make this a short actually, I don't know why I'm saying that, because I know that it'll turn out about 15 minutes long. Never mind. I'll start with design. As usual, Apple have done a brilliant job at making this thing look good, at least. So there's one pro for you. Very small MP3 player, so their main focus seems to have been making it compact. It's very light. I was surprised when I first took it out of the box at how light it actually is. There's no weight to it at all. So we've got no physical buttons. We've got a little slidey switch thing on the top there, which turns it on and toggles between play songs in order and shuffle. We've got the headphone jack, a tiny little light to tell you that it's on and charging and give you an idea of how much power is remaining. So it has a few different functions in there, so that's good. And the clip on the back. So from the front, there's not a lot to look at, but it does look really nice. The clip on the back, really easy to clip onto things, does get full of fingerprints, just like the back of an iPod Touch, for example. But it's the back, it's not too bad. It's a nice silver clip with the Apple logo. It works. So there we go. That's design over. It looks brilliant. It's very nice MP3 player. It is a shame it's so small in one way, because there's not much to show people really. So ease of use is possibly the next category I can talk about. As usual, it's an Apple product. It's very easy to use. Setting it up, I had a few problems, but they seemed to resolve them themselves, and it sorted itself out. I filled this up quite quickly with 2 GB of songs straight from my iTunes library, and as soon as it was done, it was charged slightly already when it came out of the box. It was ready to use, and I could listen to music, so I could start using it straight away. I'm not going to say the whole setup process went perfectly, because it did have a couple of errors, but nothing where I had to do anything to fix them. It just kind of, I clicked OK and it continued and got over the problems it had. So that it was okay. It went pretty well overall. I didn't have any serious errors that caused me to need to contact Apple, do anything to try and sort any problems. So ease of use, setup went relatively well. After that, it's a simple case of plugging your headphones in, earphones rather, which these are the ones which it comes with, turning it on and listening to your music. And since it's an iPod Shuffle, there's not many features on this thing, so it's like listen or don't listen, really. There's not a lot you can do with it. You can't go searching for music. So this kind of brings me on to the whole VoiceOver feature that the iPod Shuffle has. Interesting concept to use on an MP3 player. The voice which kind of tries to tell you what you're listening to and which band or artist it is. It fails a lot at pronouncing strange song names or artists, which aren't just words from the dictionary. So I don't know what Apple were really thinking there, but for the most part it does pronounce things well and you can understand what it's saying. There are some examples on the Apple website, I believe, so you can hear what the voice sounds like. So to control the voice and everything else, you use the buttons which are on the earphone cable there. So you can't control any of these things from the iPod Shuffle itself, which is probably a huge problem for some people. But I'm going to talk about that more a bit later on in this review. So to hear what you're listening to, you just hold the middle button. You control everything with 3 buttons, which again I'll talk about a bit later. So the VoiceOver, it works well. You only hear what you're listening to if you hold the button and kind of ask it to tell you. It doesn't announce the song at the beginning of every song. So that was Apple's solution to not having any kind of display on this thing, and it works relatively well. I think if you want a really small MP3 player, the VoiceOver feature is a lot better than taking up unnecessary space with some kind of screen on the device. And if you do have this thing and you just got it maybe clipped on your clothes somewhere, it wouldn't be practical to look at a screen anyway, so being able to just control it without needing to access the device, it's quite convenient. So that ease of use, very easy to use. VoiceOver works well. So the following on from ease of use, the 3 buttons on the earphones. So you've got volume up and volume down. Those 2 buttons, I'll show you there. You can't really see, so never mind. They're straightforward. The middle button does quite a lot. If you tap it once, it plays the song. If you tap it again, it will pause the song. If you double tap, it will go to the next song. If you triple tap, it will go to the previous song. If you hold it, you'll get the VoiceOver feature telling you what track you're listening to. And if you hold it even longer, you can then choose a playlist, which is a nice feature. It gives you some kind of control over choosing what to listen to, because you can't choose an individual track, obviously, but being able to choose a playlist is a nice feature. It's better than nothing. So that middle button even does quite a lot. But it's like I've just simply explained all of the different features it has. It's not hard to get used to. The only problem you may find, say if you're out jogging with this thing, which would be a perfect use for the iPod Shuffle, it could be maybe awkward to use the buttons because they are quite small and close together. But there are only 3 buttons. There's not much that can go wrong. You might accidentally turn the volume up 1. Not a huge deal really. But the fact that the buttons are on the earphones themselves could be an issue to many people, because that means, of course, you are limited to Apple's earphones. Now, Apple do 2 different earphones which have the controls on them. These are the ones that the iPod Shuffle comes with, and they do the in-ear headphones, or whatever they call them. These aren't brilliant. I'm sure you've all heard iPod earphones before. There's nothing different about these ones. They're okay. They're average, probably fine for most people. Okay for me. I don't really listen to music when I'm out much, so with the times when I do, I can live with these. But for a lot of people, they want a much better experience and a lot better quality from their earphones. You may have invested in the past in better earphones than the ones that came with your MP3 player, and unfortunately you would not be able to use them with the iPod Shuffle without some third-party adapter or other device which connects to it. So that's, for me, the biggest con with the iPod Shuffle. But having said that, if you don't want to use different earphones, you're fine. If you did lose or break these, then of course you'd have to buy Apple's, which aren't cheap for really what you get, not spectacular earphones that charge quite a lot, as usual. But as long as that situation didn't arise, it's fine. You have the choice. You either get the iPod Shuffle for the convenience of being able to control it from like just here, or you lose that convenience in place for another MP3 player or another iPod to be able to use your own earphones. It's your choice. I can't really tell you if this is a good feature or a bad feature, because it depends how you would use it. So that's pretty much it with the iPod Shuffle. It's a great iPod for it does what it's supposed to, and what Apple advertise perfectly, very well. I have no issues with, not many at least, with how it functions based on what it's designed to do. It does that perfectly. The problems are what it kind of isn't supposed to do, and the main one is just the earphones. But again, that's just up to you if that would be an issue to you. I can't say anything more on the matter really. So if you have any questions that I haven't covered, you can send me an email, jake@jakewright.net, or you can come along and visit us in the IRC channel we have. You can see just there, #Jake on irc.geekshed.net. If that makes no sense to you, just visit jakewright.net. Thanks for watching.